Hey, what's going on YouTube? In this video, I want to talk about the 5 things I hate about the Hyundai Tiburon. Starting with number one is the aftermarket. The Hyundai Tiburon has literally almost no aftermarket support, which was a huge letdown for me when I bought this car. Um, I had no idea this car was this underrated or not very popular. And it was a huge letdown because this car is very easy to take apart. It's very easy to work on. Um, I really have no complaints on taking things apart. This car literally comes out. It literally comes apart like a Lego, guys. It really does. The side skirts, the OEM side skirts on these cars come off so easily. You can swap out the door handles very easily. You can swap out the fuel door very easily. I mean, this car is the definition of really taking it apart like a Lego. But it's kind of annoying and kind of disappointing that this car doesn't have a lot of support in the aftermarket. Yeah, it's a huge letdown, guys. That's the number one thing I hate about this car. The second thing is it's front wheel drive. Um, I am kind of I guess, a sports car purist, and I think every sports car should be rear wheel drive. This car is not rear wheel drive; it is front wheel drive. And this car really should have came out to be rear wheel drive. It has the looks for it, and I think the Tiburon would have actually sold better and be a little bit more popular amongst the enthusiasts if it was rear wheel drive. Now, don't get me wrong, front wheel drive cars are still very fun to drive. You take them out in the canyons, or you could take them on the curvy roads, or just driving them on the street. They're still very fun cars to drive. It's just that you can't drift them or do donuts with them, stuff like that. Um, so yeah, this car is front wheel drive, guys, and I didn't know that before I bought this. When I bought this car, it was kind of like on a whim, and when I realized it was front wheel drive, I was very disappointed, very disappointed. But it still is a very fun car to drive. I don't want to take away from the Tiburon too much. This car is still a very fun car to drive on the road, on the street, to have a blast in, to have fun with the boys or anything like that. Still a very fun car to drive. I just wish it was rear wheel drive though. Um, the third reason, or the third thing I hate about this car is the community. Um, I do not, I do not like the Tiburon community right now. I can kind of care less for it. The community is very. I don't want to say the word. I don't want to say the word, but it's kind of dead. The Tiburon community is kind of dead. It's uninspiring. It's kind of just nothing's really. But yeah, sorry guys, my phone is getting ready to die. But as I was saying, the third thing I don't like about this car is the community. I don't like the Tiburon community. I can kind of care less for it. The community is kind of dead. It's unlively. Nothing really going on in the space. And I've been part of the Facebook group for a while, and there's just nothing really going on there. Um, a lot of a lot of people are posting questions about how to maintain their Tiburons, stuff like that. But what I don't like about the Facebook groups is how some people, or a lot of people in this section, when people ask questions how to maintain their vehicle or whatever it is, I see a lot of people respond to these questions with sarcasm and being a smartass about it. Not a fan of that at all. Not a fan of it. I think that's very immature. It's kind of unnecessary. That's not why people want to be a part of the community. And in my opinion, people like that are just pushing people further away from the Tiburon platform. Because you have people in the community that want to be sarcastic or be a smartass about it or whatever. And like I said, I'm not a fan of it. Look, if somebody has a question on how to maintain their car, their Tiburon, or any modifications, just answer the question, guys. Just answer the question. You don't need to be a smartass about it. No need to poke fun at someone or make them feel like they're stupid or something like that. Just answer the question. All right. That's something I've noticed a lot in the Facebook groups, and I was not a fan of that at all. I saw a lot of that. I'm also not a fan of people posting, their stock cars. I know that sounds kind of bad, but for me personally, I could care less about someone's stock Tiburon. I mean, stock Tiburons are cool. Don't get me wrong. I love these cars, but I was more interested in seeing a lot more modified Tiburons, turbocharged, boosted cars, or anyone doing something wild and crazy, which unfortunately for me isn't really, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't very part of the Facebook group. And one thing I do want to touch up on with the community or the Facebook group in particular is the Tiburons out there that are boosted, that are modified or heavily modified, they're not posting quite enough on any platform. I don't see or hear about them anywhere. It's almost like these cars are in hiding or they don't exist or anything like that. And I don't like that just because, I'm a big fan of these cars and, I want to see people's cool rides. And it's like they're nowhere to be seen. I don't hear about them. I don't see anyone posting about them or reposting or resharing. And that's another thing people don't do in the Tiburon community is that no one reposts or reshares someone's cool build. Like I see in other communities. I've been part of the Scion FRS community once, and I've seen people much more lively in communities like that than versus this one. This one, it's just unlively. But yeah, I mean, if you have a Tiburon out there that's heavily modified, I highly encourage people to post more about it. I get it though. Some people don't want to post. They don't want to be on the internet, and that's fine. But it is kind of disappointing that when I took part in the Facebook group, I didn't like how people were being treated there, or I didn't like how people were responding to people's legitimate questions. They weren't really being productive. They were being counterproductive in the aspect of pushing people away against the Tiburon more, and I'm not a fan of that. I want to bring people in the Tiburon community, not push them away. And if you're going to be a smartass on someone's question, you're just giving them that one more reason for them to leave or not be a part of it, which is counterproductive. But yeah, not a fan of the Tiburon community. Unlively is dead. A lot of people in there probably not the best of help, very sarcastic, smartass remarks. Not a fan of it. A lot of immaturity as well. And if you're looking for a really amazing build, you're not going to see it in the Tiburon community too often. So just giving you guys a heads up on that one. That's a huge letdown for me. But yeah, the fourth thing that I don't like about the Tiburon is the gearing. If you have the V6 6-speed, which I do have, the gearing ratio in this car is very short. It's very, very short in first and second gear. I personally don't like that. I wish it was longer. Third and fourth gear is pretty solid. The car really does come alive in third and fourth gear. I would say that's the car's sweet spot, but first and second is just way too short. I'm probably driving like 3 to 5 miles per hour, and the car is like already at like 5 grand or something like that. Not a fan of that sort of gear ratio, but I guess I can understand why Hyundai designed it that way, is to make the car kind of feel faster than what it is, given the low horsepower. Excuse me, the low horsepower numbers that this car does have. So I guess I can understand why. The fifth and final thing I hate about the Hyundai Tiburon is how rust sensitive they are. I have two Hyundai Tiburons, and both of them are rusting in the exact same spot. They're rusting in the driver's side rear quarter panel, and that's kind of annoying, but I have seen other people's Tiburons rusting in the exact same area as well. I'm not entirely sure what's up with that area, but both my Tiburons are rusting in that spot. So I highly recommend, if you have a Tiburon that hasn't rusted yet and it's in really good shape, get a garage or get a storage unit and, see if you can get the car in there and preserve it a little bit longer. But yeah, guys, those are the 5 things I hate about the Hyundai Tiburon. Maybe I'll do a video of the 5 things I love about this car. Um, but yeah, let's walk around this little project Tiburon I got going on. This one has a full real carbon fiber trunk hatch. It's absolutely beautiful. There was a group buy with these hatches that happened years ago between a company called JML Racing and a fellow Tiburon owner on Instagram. He went by Boosted Shark on Instagram. I'm not sure if he's still around on the platform, but those two organized a group buy for this carbon fiber trunk hatch. And I got a M&S wide body kit for this car from Korea. They're the only people that I know of that sell wide body kits for the Hyundai Tiburon. Let's go over here. Carbon fiber fuel door. Also got the carbon fiber door handles. I picked these up before they got discontinued. These, I'm not sure what you want to call them, but carbon fiber triangles, the 8-pillar triangles, I think. Yeah, I picked those up before, you know, they disappeared off the face of the earth. I got a carbon fiber Sibon hood, vented. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little walk around between my little project car. I got a lot of the parts for this car sitting on the shelves here. I do plan on boosting this car, and my goal is to push around 500 wheel horsepower with the parts that I got for this car. Hopefully I can achieve that. I got 4 rods and pistons for this car, and I got a Garrett turbocharger for this car, and yeah, hopefully we can reach those numbers. But I got some carbon fiber Recaro podiums for this car as well. Pretty cool seats. Very, very beautiful seats. Yeah, very, very beautiful seats. By far one of my favorite purchases for this car. I really love these seats, guys. I highly recommend if you have the money, which I don't think anyone who owns a Tiburon would do it, but if you have the money, I would say go get these seats. They're worth every penny, guys. Very beautiful seats. But yeah, I guess in the future I'll make a video of the 5 things I love about this car, because that would be an easy video to make, because there's a lot of things I love about this car. Funny enough, or ironically enough, my car previous to this was a 2015 Scion FRS, and by every stretch of the imagination was a way better platform and way better sports car and has a way better community behind it than the Tiburon, and yet I still prefer the Tiburon over my FRS. So maybe I'll talk about that in another video, but yeah, I really do prefer the Tiburon over my Scion FRS, which is kind of weird. But yeah, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.